This week I decided to put my pick-a-brick orders of my Lions Knights troops to good use and display them along with the Lions Knights castle. And also, I set out to prove to myself that it is possible to set up a Lego castle display in a really small space. I'm Tom Bray since 1954, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're anything like me, you don't have a dedicated Lego room. I think few of us do. I live in a mid-century house. It's a modest floor plan with not a lot of square footage. It's perfect for my wife and I. And we have a lot going on in that house. We both have our interests. She's a seamstress, and so she has her sewing area set up. And I have all kinds of interests. So, Lego space to display is at a premium, or otherwise it gets really overwhelming. What I tend to do is to have it set up in the summertime in the garage, because we do have a garage that we use for storage since we have no basement in this house. So that's what I usually do, but I decided that lately I'm going to adapt a couple of ideas that I've heard from you on this channel. The first one is I'm no longer going to really display actively a lot of sets. I want a small castle display that is not permanent, that I can move different castles in and out, different scenes, and all the kind of other Lego sets that I've built for fun that I now have stored in storage bins, I'm going to disassemble. And I'm going to put them in, Ziploc bags along with the instructions. And that'll give me a lot more room in those bins to store fully built castle structures that I can then take out and revolve through my display that I'll have inside. I think this is a really good idea. When I had a fire a little over a year ago, I had to disassemble a lot of stuff that was outside because I had to clean it. And I put together one of those sets. I reassembled it. And what I discovered was that I had just as much fun reassembling it as I did the first time I built it. And many of you have had that experience. I read about it in your comments, and I thought, well, this might be the perfect solution to my storage problems. I can build, full-size castles as they come available. But I can also then store them in a bin without disassembling them because I will have disassembled all of my other Lego sets. And if I ever want to rebuild one of those just for fun, I can get it out, rebuild it, look at it, say, oh, isn't this nice? This was fun to build, and then disassemble it again. As long as I have the instructions, then that should be no problem to do. And that way I can store them away safely for my future use or for my granddaughter's eventual use. So I think that's the perfect solution. So now the question was, what do I set up inside that's temporary that I could, knock down and not have, permanent tables set up in case I needed the space for something else? And since my son is visiting from Berlin soon, and we're going to build the Dungeons and Dragons set, finally, the castle, which we're both very excited about. It's been sitting in the box for over a year here in my Lego closet. I decided we're going to need a workspace to set up in order to build that inside because it's too cold to build outside. So I noticed that at my local Buy Mart, which is an employee-owned kind of superstore, kind of an old-fashioned department store, they had a folding portable table that was on sale for $35. And I thought, well, that's a pretty good price. Let me go up and look at it. I did, and I really liked what I saw. It was lightweight, plastic, but really rugged plastic. When it assembled, meaning when the two sides were unfolded, there wasn't a big bow in the middle. It was sturdy. It was very simple and straightforward to set up. And, lightweight. So I thought, well, this will be perfect for me because I can set it up. We can build on it. I can display on it after we're done building. And if eventually I want to knock it down, I can just store my built castles in those newly available storage bins because all my other Lego sets have been disassembled. So this seemed like a win-win to me. So I bought it and I brought it home. and I set it up. Then took a tablecloth that was green just because it's pleasant and is kind of reminiscent of grass. And I decided to now just set up a very temporary display of my Lion's Knights castle. And just to show you how that one castle can form just a magnificent centerpiece or even a solo piece for a castle display. You don't need a lot to really have fun with your castle displays. And then the rest of it is minifigs. As many minifigs as you want to place upon your table. And I just kind of have scratched the surface. I didn't even put any bad guys out or townspeople because I'm going to soon take that castle and store it away for a bit while my son and I build the Dungeons and Dragons castle. So I just wanted to give you a look at that display that I set up just to prove to you that it's really possible for not a lot of money to have a portable and storable table that you can use inside, just tucked into a corner like I did, for display of your fantasy castle world. So I hope that's been helpful. I had a lot of fun doing it. I still am waiting on my pick-a-brick order from Denmark. I called Lego today because they sent me a notice saying, if you haven't gotten your order, call us. So I did, and I got a very nice, friendly United States representative who told me that it was basically in the container and on its way to me, and it should be here in a week. And also that the reason I'm not seeing it on the back end, meaning on my Lego order screen, seems to be some sort of bug Lego is having. I'm curious whether you are having that difficulty too. The rep said that I was the second person today who has mentioned that an order they placed did not show up on their past order screen. So they were concerned about that, and he's going to report it to their tech end. It sounds like it's some bug in the code, but it would be interesting to hear from you whether or not you're experiencing that as well. Also, I would love to know whether or not you've set up small spaces like this. I think we've talked about this in the past, but what's the latest with you? Do you have some place that's just dedicated castle that's small and portable and, something you can circulate your castle pieces through as your whim desires? Until next time, keep building your Lego fantasy castle world one brick at a time. Take care.